Hello again, everybody. This is Lance Russell with Championship Wrestling with another big week. Join us right now.
Hey, welcome to the Double Dropkick Show. I'm Heath Mulligan.
And I'm Mark Whitman.
And it's good to be back literally in the studio. Recording today. We're recording video for our YouTube channel and also for our patrons who got to see the pre-show, which is us just talking or whatever. And speaking of our patrons, hey, maybe you're sitting there, what's a patron? A patron is someone who appreciates the arts. A patron is someone who says, you know what, this is so good, more people need to hear it, and I'm going to invest. I'm going to invest my energy and my time and my money. And so at patreon.com/doubledropkick for as little as $1 a month, literally, there's no better deal of any kind in the world. They could be giving stuff away for free. It's not as good a deal as the $1 patron deal. When you become a patron, you become a part of our Facebook group. And as the tiers go up, you get more and more rewards. You get, if you are in the Southeast and follow independent wrestling, you're going to get news there that you're not going to get anywhere else. And we're going to talk about some of that in a little bit. But I mention our patrons because on today's episode, we're going to answer some questions from our patrons' private Facebook group.
Okay.
So, and if you're wondering, if you normally listen, well, why is he asking how he is? We already did that. We have dispensed with the pleasantries.
Become a patron and you'll find out how I am.
Right, and if you notice, we have a new figure. Our patrons saw the presentation of this beautiful figure.
Heath found me in a thrift store, an official old school LJN Terry Funk, allegedly autographed by the man himself.
I think they also had a Greg Valentine, but I just want
Terry Funk is.
So I want to say a big thank you to Jeremiah Clements, who's out there.
Man. Thank you, Jeremiah.
He longtime listener of the show, and went and picked that up and mailed that to us.
Yes, thank you so much.
You know, and wherever you live, if you see something
and you say, I think Heath and Mark would like that.
Right.
We're going to set a P.O. box up and you'll be able to send us some stuff.
I don't care if you send it to my house.
Yeah, Heath will give you his address.
Listen, everybody knows where I work and where I live anyway.
That's true.
I got nothing to hide. Well, everybody knows where I live. All right, so let's get to these questions, a variety of things. So we'll Joseph Brown says, ugh, I would love to be a part of the in-game discussion. That was one of the things I wanted to talk about today.
All right. Well, you can't. So
I can't?
No. He can't. He can't be a part of.
No. Sorry. I don't know if you want to save that for another episode where we can do a pop culture episode and then answer these
How
other
many
questions.
you got?
I got 4 questions. Well, there's 2 more questions. There's 2 more questions. 1 request. The 2 questions both have to do with AEW. So maybe we talk about that. We talk about the request. That'll be a nice little episode.
Okay.
All right. So Joe, we're going to be. We'll do a separate episode on Endgame because I want to go through and talk about all the Marvel movies and take some time to do that. And I believe that deserves its own.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I believe in honor of Stan Lee. That would be a good thing.
Okay.
He would appreciate that. All right, so here's our first.
If he didn't, nobody would.
That's right. Jason Blackburn, longtime patron, says this. We're recording this on Thursday, May 23rd. We're 2 days away from All Elite Wrestling's Double or Nothing. Jason asks, do y'all think AEW has missed the mark with its pay-per-view price? The American pay-per-view price, which is on whether you're getting it on Dish or DirecTV or streaming it on Bleacher. I guess it's Bleacher Report Live. It's $49.99. Well, your thoughts on their price point there?
Hey, I mean, if you can get it, get it. I guess they sold out twice in a row, and they thought people were willing to pay this. So I mean, you set the value for what you're worth, man. As you know, there's a reason I don't do wrestling anymore.
Right.
Because I set a value for my time.
Yeah.
And I set it
Very high.
because I knew that nobody would pay it.
Yeah.
And if anybody does want me, they'll pay it. And somebody said, "Where'd you get that figure from?" And I said, "Well, if I go work my regular job for as many hours as you want me to be here, that's how much it'll cost.
Right.
That's what I would get paid. So that's what my time is worth to me." Yeah. So your value is what you set it at.
Right. I think I'm curious, and you may not know this, Mark. I don't know anything about setting the price for a pay-per-view. A lot of people may not know that. I don't. I'm curious how much of, like, if you and I said, hey, we want to do a pay-per-view, Dish Network says, all right, well, this is your starting price. Like, I'm wondering what that starting price was, and then, how much did they bump it up?
Well, yeah, and I mean, WWE, I don't think will ever get more than $10 now. They've set that price point at $10 for WrestleMania.
Right.
So these guys, and I don't think that is sustainable if they're planning on doing a pay-per-view every month.
No.
But if they're planning on doing 2 or 3 pay-per-views a year, it's not bad.
No,
if you're going to put on a 5-hour show, that's, if they're smart and don't culminate all their storylines on TV, and culminate all their story and actually do a slow build to some of these stories like they've done, and then pay them off with, which they had the deal with Pac that just happened. And I think I know people love to just read headlines. But I read the story. Oh, Pac is not going to do this because of creative differences. Did you read the story?
Yes.
Okay, that's not entirely true.
Right.
They made him the champion of another company, and part of that agreement was that he wouldn't lose any major matches on television when they made him, is it like Dragon's Gate?
Dragon Gate, yeah.
So part of the agreement was he can't lose matches on TV.
Right.
And they wanted him to lose that match, and it wasn't an issue. That's why they did the match early rather than – I think it is commendable what they did.
Yeah.
They still gave the match away for free.
Yeah.
They knew that it was going to be a DQ finish. So rather than put a DQ finish on a $50 card.
Brilliant.
They gave that match away for free.
Yeah.
So you still got the match.
Yes.
They let you know ahead of time. Pac's not going to be here.
Right.
This is not going to happen. It's not going to go down. We're going to replace him with somebody else.
Yeah.
Which is entirely different than any other wrestling company would have done. They would have just done that card subject to change thing.
Yeah.
They told you ahead of time what was going to happen, still gave you the match. They didn't give you the BS finish for $50. They're going to give you a match against somebody else, and it's going to be somebody that matters. It wouldn't surprise me. I don't know this.
Yeah.
I haven't read anything.
Yeah.
I'm just speculating.
Yeah.
Maybe John Moxley would be a good.
All right, so let me ask you 2 questions off of that. And then I want to go, man, I'm excited because we're going to get to talk about some stuff. Isn't that something? First, let me say, I agree with everything you just said. Brilliant analysis, as always. That take, that's an interesting take. Isn't that something, the Dragon Gate thing? That's something they would have known from the beginning.
I don't know.
So if they know, I'm wondering, wait a minute, you can't lose? Because, which leads to my second point is, they just announced yesterday that the winner of Jericho and Omega will face the winner of the Battle Royal to be the first world champion. Where it was initially, hey, the winner of the Battle Royal gets the first title shot at the champion. That has caused the speculation that, it must have been the winner of Page and Pac is going to wrestle the winner of Jericho and Omega. Well, that's obviously not a thing anymore.
No, they're not going to wrestle that night. It's going to happen at a later date?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so you'll have the 2 winners, and they'll wrestle at a later date. You talked about pay-per-views every month. They already have announced a show for June, and they've announced a show for July. I think both of those will be pay-per-views. I don't think there's any way they're 49. This is a big one. Like, this is...
Yeah, this is pretty big.
This is the big one.
Who knows? If they can get it, hey, man.
Right. I'm going to... Listen.
If I wasn't working, I would be watching it.
Right.
I'll be honest with you. Like, and I don't spend money on this stuff. But, yeah. If I did not have to work, if I didn't have so much going on this weekend and in the next few weeks with school wrapping up for my nephew and all this stuff, if I didn't have all this stuff going on, I would be spending $50 to watch this show. And still may, when I get everything straightened out, I still may sit down and watch it.
Right. I'm very curious. Typically, the stuff has been on Fight. Fight is carrying everything internationally. It's Bleacher Report. I'm curious to see.
I thought it was going to be on Fight. It's
not in the United States.
Oh, that sucks.
So I downloaded the Bleacher Report app. I think they know streaming is the future.
I would hope they know that.
And I think they're checking out. Hey, instead of doing our own thing, because if I'm not mistaken, Bleacher Report is owned by Warner Media, which owns TNT. So if they can partner with Bleacher Report, and I don't think I think it would be foolish to do pay per show, but I think if they can, maybe Bleacher Report moves to $9 a month, and you get all the soccer and tennis and you get it all. I think that may be what they're going to do, but I'm very listen, we've all asked for this. We've all asked for an alternative to WWE. And it is here. And I'm so curious. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna watch this pay-per-view.
I wish I could, man. But I can tell you, I want this thing to succeed as much as Cody and the Young Bucks do. I really do.
Yes.
Like, I really want it to do well. I would love for some of these guys that you look at and say, man, they're just not using this guy right. They got this bloated roster in WWE. I would love for some of those guys to be able to go somewhere and showcase what they can really do, man. I hope this gets as big as WCW was. I really would. That's what I hope for. I hope it gets bigger and sustains it. You know,
because to me the dream would be AEW does well, and some other billionaire says, "Oh, why can't we do that?"
I think you don't want to You're right. You'll wind up, but I think not necessarily another billionaire says that, but I think another wrestling creative mind says that. And what you see, what I would hope is, instead of another WCW, another WWF, another AWA, another World Class, instead of that you may get another Smoky Mountain Wrestling, you know, or another ECW out of it, where you can kind of, some of those big name guys can go work some of those smaller shows and kind of help establish them, and you can get a Terry Funk type of guy that goes into ECW, and that's what I would hope would happen, that you would see some of these smaller promotions get bigger, but obviously not be as big as WWE.
Right. I want to talk about AEW TV, but it has to do with this next question from Alan Welchel. Alan, it was good to see you at 3 Count the other night. Alan asked, is there anything AEW can do to bring old fans back? Not talking about disgruntled smart marks, but the fans that lost interest after the Monday Night Wars were over. Are they even interested in trying to get those old fans? Also, has there been any matches? All right, let's stop there, because his next question is about something else. I think, okay, here's the opportunity for the wrestling industry the next 5-6 months. You have WWE going on Fox, AEW going to be on TNT. You have people that are just going to be sitting down watching TV, seeing now commercials for wrestling. And it could bring back some of those old fans, fans that are maybe in their 40s or 50s now.
Yeah.
And maybe they're watching Fox. They're watching football on a Sunday afternoon. Oh.
Wrestling?
Wrestling.
They still doing that?
They still wrestle.
Is Wahoo McDaniel still wrestling?
Or you have somebody who's watching TNT. You got somebody watching the NBA playoffs. Or you got somebody watching a Law and Order marathon. Wrestling? What? Okay. And they check it out. And I think it's a way you can bring back old fans. But I think what has hurt wrestling the last 20 years is, have we been doing a good job of creating new fans? Or is it just guys like us who hate everything?
I don't hate everything.
No, I'm saying people our age who, I wish WWE would do something different that's unpredictable. Brock wins Money in the Bank. Hey, so I don't know if you saw this. Brock comes back, wins Money in the Bank Sunday night. Spoiler alert. Sorry, I didn't mean to spoil that for you. And everybody's like, I'm canceling network, never going to watch again. Ratings went up Monday night.
Uh-huh.
Crazy.
It's because he's a real star.
Right.
And that's because there's, like, I was thinking about it the other day, these guys that,
Yeah.
This toxic fans,
Yes.
man. They, but these guys put their bodies on the line, and they took these incredible bumps, and then Brock Lesnar just comes out, and he didn't even have to do anything, and he just gets to be
like a guy coming in
at
number 30 and winning the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just that's such a small segment of the population that feels that way, man. Brock Lesnar is the star, whether you like it or not. Do you honestly think there's anybody in that match? Look, they couldn't all get together and beat Brock Lesnar up.
No.
This is the reality.
Right.
That's why he got to be the
right.
Why he got to climb the thing and be the champ. He's a real star. He's a real heel. They figured out. See, like, if you had today, if you did an angle where the Four Horsemen jumped Dusty Rhodes in the parking lot and beat him up, all those guys would pull for the Four Horsemen and talk about how much they appreciated their great heel work.
Yeah.
So they would be fans of them because they're great heels. Brock Lesnar's a real heel. He's a heel for 2019 because he doesn't care.
No.
And people believe the gimmick.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm sure he's probably not very approachable.
Right.
He probably is a little bit introverted. He probably is a bit of a jerk.
Yeah.
I'm sure that all that's true.
Yeah.
But if you really believe Brock Lesnar's living in a house and he's got to drive 2 miles to the phone at the end of his driveway, like Paul, this is his gimmick. He's not driving 2 miles to get to a telephone. I'm sure he likes living on a farm. He's a farm. He was a farm kid. That's what he likes. It's what he enjoys. He likes to hunt.
A few of us.
And people say, like I heard somebody else tell you the other way, nobody does. Yeah, they do. Drinking Buddy, that's his life.
Yeah.
If Drinking Buddy was rich, he'd be living Brock Lesnar's life. I know him. This is what he likes to do. When I say Drinking Buddy, I got a friend that I don't want to say his name because I don't know that he wants people to know his name. But Heath has met him once or twice, and his life, he bought 30 acres in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah,
and he's got a tractor. And he's built a deer stand because he likes to sit in and fish. He's built him a little shed, just kind of like what you got here, but it's missing a front,
right? With
a fire pit out in front of it, so at night he can go out there and sit in front of his fire pit.
Yeah,
that's his life. So it's not inconceivable to me that somebody would want to live the life that they say Brock Lesnar lives. However, my buddy also does have cable TV if he wants to watch a football game. He's got a telephone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the other day he sent me a picture. He bought him a brand new jacked up 4x4 pickup truck. And I'm not talking about a new one.
Right.
I'm talking about a 30-year-old.
Oh, nice.
4-wheel drive pickup truck.
Yeah.
And 3 months ago, he bought another one so that he can tear them up on his property.
Yeah.
He's not going out and spending $20,000 on these things. He finds them sitting on the side of the road.
Right.
and he buys them so that he can go out and sling mud around on his property because that's what he likes to do.
Right.
So it's not inconceivable that Brock Lesnar is that guy to me.
Yeah.
However, I don't think he's walking 2 miles to make a phone call.
So you talked about AEW building things up. You talked about their TV. I want to spend a few minutes because I was thinking the other night, man, how would I book a 3-hour Monday Night Raw?
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
You said how I think that's part of the problem with these toxic fans today. We're all fantasy bookers. Yeah. So then we all sit around and come up with these scenarios, what they should do, what we think would do, and every one of us thinks that what we came up with is better than what everybody else came up with. So then when they don't come up with what you came up with, I could have booked that. No, you couldn't. It's so easy to say that I could have booked it if you've never booked wrestling.
Right.
You don't understand the personalities that once everybody gets together and having to talk.
My goodness.
You know what I mean? You have to explain your idea, and then they come back with their ideas, and then and this a lot of times their ideas don't make
complicated.
Right? It's not as easy to book wrestling as these armchair bookers think it is.
We had a match,
and I'm not, and the guys that I've had to book it for ain't multimillionaires.
Right. And you and I had a match. We were like, oh, that'd be a good match. And they're like, no, because we weren't thinking about chemistry. We weren't thinking about who could do what. And we weren't thinking about the mechanics of actually that 2 men were going to have to get in that ring and pull it off. I guess for me, okay, when I say how would I book? What I mean, like, okay, I wasn't thinking about individual people, but I would take first hour, I would focus on my secondary title feuds. Second hour, I'd do some tag team stuff. Maybe the very beginning of the show, you tease, all right, this is our main event, and then the third hour, I'd focus on your main event people, but I would just give it more focus. So, having said that, AEW going to have a 2-hour time slot. What can AEW learn that WWE has done that fans have crapped on that they don't like? What would you take that for? If you're AEW and you're trying to win those disgruntled WWE fans, you're trying to get back your old fans, you're trying to win new fans. As a fan, what are some things you'd like to see?
Well, I listen to Cornette talk, and I agree with a lot of what he said. I would like to see a show start off with a couple of announcers at a table saying, we're in Boston, Massachusetts this weekend.
Yeah.
Or tonight.
Yeah.
And we got a great card lined up. I'm Mark Whitman, and I'm joined here by Heath Mulligan, and we're coming to you live from our work, whatever.
Right.
And we got a great night of action for you. Bam, bam, bam. You're gonna see the Young Bucks are here tonight. Pentagon. He's here tonight. Cody Rhodes is here tonight. We're waiting back to hear from Chris Jericho about the fallout from this.
Right.
And we're going to try to catch up with Hangman out, and just give a 30-second rundown of what's going to happen, and then say, but right now we're going to get you to the ring. I would not start off with no 35, 40-minute talking segment setting everything up tonight. Go ahead and let the announcer set everything up tonight. We don't need an authority figure.
Right.
That's already been done. Everybody knows who the fans of this promotion know who the authority figures are. We don't need that. And I would say I would go out and find, I look at Ted DiBiase.
Yeah.
Mick Foley.
Yeah.
Not Terry Funk, not Harley Race, not Shane Douglas. Not Jake Roberts, Jim Cornette. Not Heath Mulligan.
Yeah.
Anyway, Ted DiBiase, Jim Ross.
Yeah.
Let's whatever, but let's use Ted DiBiase.
Right.
He's our authority guy.
Yeah.
But we don't see Ted DiBiase 5 times a year.
Yeah.
Ted DiBiase is the guy that we call in when we have to make a serious decision about something, and we need an impartial voice in this thing. Something happened, and we need some guidance here from somebody who's been around. Right. What should we do in this situation, Ted? Yeah. You've kind of seen it all. You got any ideas about how we should handle this situation? And we don't need Ted DiBiase there every week giving a 45-minute promo. And he doesn't – he's not a heel. He's not a babyface. He's just a guy. He's the guy. He's Bob Geigel. You know what I mean? He's that guy. He's Jack Tunney. And you just don't see him that often.
See, I think that would be – they're talking about, wins and losses mattering. They're talking about making it more of a sports competition. Well, having an authority figure like that, what if Roger Goodell,
What if it ain't just Ted DiBiase? What if it is Ted DiBiase, Mick Foley, Terry Funk, Jim Cornette, all four of them?
They're the board of directors.
They're our board of directors. They've got experience in this business.
Yeah.
They know, you know what I mean? Mm. So now, when something comes up, the four of them get together because you got a bunch of different ideas. All right, we've discussed this, and with our knowledge of wrestling, here's what we think should happen.
That's a great segment right there. Sitting around a table, not standing in a line. Or okay,
this is not a segment.
Okay,
there's a spokesman for this group.
Okay.
We don't have.
Can it be a woman? Can it be like a real pretty woman?
Yeah, either? Right. You can have the four of them come walking out of the room together.
Yeah. Okay.
And say, hey, and you can have Cornette say, look, we've reached a decision, and we're going to let y'all know what it is coming up later in the next hour. You'll find out when everybody else finds out.
Okay.
What we're going to do, and then you don't make this long presentation of it. You have the young lady come out and say, I've been given this, and I'm going to read the statement. We, the board of directors of AEW, blah, 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 we think that, Chris Jericho ought to be suspended for his action.
Right.
And that's it.
Yeah.
And it was a fair and impartial decision was made.
Yeah.
I think you can do that. I don't think there's anything wrong with using a couple of legends.
Yeah.
Problem is, I don't know who that would be anymore.
Yeah.
There's not really a lot of them left that there's the ones that are WWE's giving them big money to keep them around now, so they can't use them.
Right.
But I wouldn't use my legends. I would use my legends to get people over, not to keep my legends on top.
Yeah.
I would use the legends to draw attention to everything, but I wouldn't have them come out and I wouldn't sacrifice an upcoming talent like Elias,
right,
to keep John Cena and The Undertaker relevant.
Gotcha.
And that's the bit. And I would focus on having good matches. I don't think there's anything wrong with having commercial breaks, but I wouldn't telegraph a commercial break with a rest hold.
Yeah.
And having everybody spill out on the outside and lay down, and we'll be back. I wouldn't, cut out. I would, every once in a while, I'd finish a match up during the commercial break and say, fans, well, while we were gone, this happened. Now we're going to show you what happened while we were gone and make it seem like anything can happen.
To me, if you're wanting to make it like sports, every basketball, football, soccer doesn't have hardly any commercials because they don't go to commercial during the half.
Because nobody watches soccer, so it doesn't.
People watch the World Cup.
Yeah, right. I get it. Yeah, they do. And then they all go back to, go back to their lives of not watching soccer.
Then they, their mom quits paying the cable bill for the month, and then they. All right, so I like to me to think that. Unless it was like a big main event, 15 or 20 minute match growing up, none of those matches went to commercial in the middle of it.
Not many. No.
Like to me, when I was a kid, if a match went to commercial, you're like, this is an important match.
Yeah. Because it wasn't a squash.
And I think part of that you knew that they had pre-taped it. It wasn't live.
Right.
But yeah, my point is, you can time out a TV show where you are not having to go. And these are allegedly professional wrestlers that when you tell them, hey, This is how much time you got. If you want to work for us, you will stick to this time.
See, that's where you and I will differ about things, because I think if you always do that, then I think you subtly are. I don't like the subtle hint that this is all scripted.
No.
Anything can happen if you go to a commercial break.
I got you. I hear you.
You know what I'm saying? I want it to feel like anything can happen.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't feel like that in WWE.
No, and I think that's the key. Is you just said it. It doesn't feel.
Yeah.
And I think
I would invest in. I'm sorry, I shouldn't keep interrupting you.
No, please.
But I would go back to some of the old school stories. I would have some job guy.
Yeah.
But that has charisma, that has got something, and I'd have him almost. First of all, I'd have him get crushed by somebody,
right,
2 or 3 weeks in a row, and then I'd have him fire up on that guy and start showing a little bit of fire, and then boom, 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 and for 6 months, this guy just can't get a win.
Yeah,
and then one day Cody goes out and has this match with this guy. And Cody's not even worried about this guy.
Right.
And boom, he slips on a banana peel, and this guy beats him and gets his first win. And now Cody is incensed.
Yeah.
That he is. Now Cody's embarrassed.
Yeah.
So now he wants to embarrass this young guy. That's such a simple story.
Yeah.
That you can tell. And you can tell it over 6 or 8 months, and it actually makes somebody.
Yeah.
Somebody that you can do something with. But nobody wants to lose anymore. We got to do all my stuff. I got to get all my moves in. And you don't understand you'd be a bigger star if you got your ass whipped for 6 months and then beat Cody.
Right.
That's how, you know who got over like that? Tommy Wildfire Rich, the NWA champion. That's the Tommy Rich story.
Yeah. Yeah. He
had matches with Abdullah the Butcher. That's how Ole Anderson got him over. He got crushed, and then he showed a little fire, and then he fired up on Abdullah, and then blah, 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 and then he got, and he makes a comeback on Abdullah, and all this played out over months of him getting squashed on TV, and maybe not even months, but whatever.
Right.
Anyway, and then he became the NWA World's Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it would work.
I think they're I don't think they need to. I think wrestling-wise, psychology-wise, they don't need to reinvent the wheel. What I do hope they do from a technical side is, and I don't know if you've seen the video. I saw it on Facebook, and it was clips of Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. And they showed you the differences between how they were shot. And I didn't realize how distinctly each of those shows, they're all three completely different. The camera cuts, the angles.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that I would like to see AEW experiment. Not do anything like the ref cam. I don't know about that. But, like, what are some new techniques and instant... I don't know. I think I'm excited for that. I'm excited in general. It doesn't take a lot to excite me.
That's true.
But TNT. I've heard that they will debut. This is unconfirmed. I read it a couple places that their show will debut the Tuesday night on TNT, and then WWE debuts on Fox that Friday night because that's a good marketing ploy, but also that's just how TV shows run.
Mm-hmm.
But it sounds like they got a good deal with TNT.
Yeah,
they've got a lot of momentum. I'm interested to see if they do the. Are they going to do? Are they just going to film TV? Are they going to have house shows? Are they going to? I'm interested to see what the business model is.
Me too. Who knows, man?
But anybody who says that WWE is not aware and WWE, they're throwing stuff at the wall now. The 24/7 title, they're trying everything.
That's ridiculous. And the wild card thing.
Yeah,
I tried to watch Raw that night, and I tuned in, and
right.
It was brutal, man. But I didn't go online and gripe about it. I just didn't watch it. I just cut it off and cut on the ball game. I mean,
yeah,
because I'm so just sick of the whole.
Yeah,
I'm sick of fans of everything.
Yeah.
I'm just sick of this. I mean, this poor kid gets the Batman role, which is the role of a lifetime.
Yeah.
And it's just, nobody's even giving, they said the same thing when they give Ledger the Joker role.
Right.
And he killed it. Man, give people a chance.
Right. I think
Game of Thrones, they're mad about Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
maybe if they'd all, when they're, get out in the world a little bit.
Yeah.
Move out of your mama's house.
Yeah.
Touch a boob. You wouldn't be worried so much about who they cast as Batman and how Game of Thrones didn't end as perfectly as you wanted it to.
I told somebody this morning, and I'm not saying this to be a downer. This is the truth. That since my wife died, I've looked at things completely different. Pop culture things do not get me high or low. The day that I saw Robert Pattinson's Batman, I was like, well, okay. Avengers Endgame, which we're going to talk. Yeah, okay. Game of Thrones finale. People are all over the place. Like, okay, yeah, I watched it. Okay, good, all right. Fine.
Right. It's just not.
Yeah.
I think some of that's age, just getting older and knowing what's really important in life.
Right. And
the things that entertain me are not worth.
Right.
Like, I watched the Braves game last night. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I flipped over, and they teed off. Man, Dansby Swanson hit a 3-run home run.
Yeah.
Acuna was on base. Freddie Freeman stepped up and hit a home run right after. They scored like 6 runs in the second inning. It was great.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But, and they won the game. But if they lost the game, I mean, it wasn't like it was going to ruin my day. But I wasn't going to go tweet at Freddie Freeman that he was a bum.
I think part of the deal is in everything, pop culture, Game of Thrones, we're all marks. All right? And where I've landed, if I've watched a show for 7 years and given 80-plus hours of my life to a show, and the ending is not what I want it to be. And I was like,
are they ever, though?
Well, that's what I was asking a friend. Is like, I don't think there's a finale that can satisfy. These people are doing an impossible job. Right. But if I go back and it's like, well, I've wasted my life. Well, who is that on? Does that say something? People's like, I can't believe I wasted my time watching Raw. Well, whose fault is that? Is that Vince McMahon's fault? Did Vince McMahon come to your house like, God, pal, you're gonna sit there and watch it, and you're gonna like it, right? I mean, no one is like. We live in such a free age. We can literally watch it. I'll give you an example.
You can watch almost anything.
Friday night, Drake's at a friend's house. The girls go do something. I'm at the store, and I find out the girls are doing something. I'm like, man, I'm gonna hit the red box up. Mm-hmm. I got 3 movies. I got 2 movies and a like a mini series that I wanted to see. I got Apollo 11. They got this new movie about it. You know what I did? Put it in. I got about 30 minutes in, realized I was more on my phone, turned it off. Uh-huh. Put in the second movie, Stan and Ollie, John C. Reilly. I'm like, man, I got about 20 minutes into that movie. Like, I don't like this. Turned it off. Mm-hmm. Took them back. Didn't even bother putting the third one in the Blu-ray player. Yeah. I was like, I did not sit through it.
I'm the same way. I ain't got time. I tried to watch the Ted Bundy movie. Right. Incredibly evil, wicked, and vile, whatever. Right, you know what I mean? So I started it, and I was like 20 minutes in, and my wife had already watched it. Yeah. Like, because she had been off and I was working, so we didn't watch it together. And like 20, 25 minutes in, I cut it off. She said, "You're not going to watch it?" I said, "I'm not into it." Yeah. It's not. Yeah. Why? I don't have the time to invest anymore. Right. In things that are not good, man. I've turned on Raw that night, and Vince McMahon said, "The wild card rule. I just came up with that. It's the wild card rule. It's the wild card." And I was thinking, and this was like, I cut over in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And I could tell they'd been talking for 20 minutes, and there was still people coming out. And I went, nah, this is like wine.
Right.
Why waste my time? It's not going to be good. I'm not going to enjoy it. It's not going to be a good experience. That's why I didn't watch Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
I watched the Brock Lesnar thing.
Yeah.
That was it. That's because I like real stars.
I like Brock Lesnar.
I like real wrestlers that can actually win fights.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that?
Yeah.
Or you want to do a separate show?
That's a separate show right there. I want to ask you the rest of Alan's question, because we just spent a good deal of time talking about what we don't want to watch.
This is what you get when you're a patron. You ask a simple question, we give you half an hour.
Right. He says, also, have there been any matches or moments from the last couple of years that you've gone back and watched again because you enjoyed it enough to watch a second time? Did you do this growing up? I know I did a lot growing up, but I don't find myself doing it much anymore for various reasons. Content overload, match emotions being different, bad booking, etc. If I can take a shot at this, the only moment from the last couple of years that in wrestling, in big-time wrestling, that I have gone back and watched is the opening of WrestleMania 30 with Hogan, Rock, and Austin. I have watched that probably 10 times.
Really?
I really enjoyed that. It makes me feel a certain way that is good. So I would say that. When I was a kid, I would tape wrestling, and I would watch it when it was on, and then I would rewatch the whole episode.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would, and I think now it is like you just said, man. We got less. More than likely, we have less time left on Earth than we've already spent.
Right.
And so your time becomes more precious. When I was growing up, how many times did I watch Tombstone? 100 times?
Right.
There's no movie I'm going to watch 100 times now.
No.
Like if I sit down and if I say, well, I've seen that, very rarely will I watch a movie a second time.
I've going through that, and I got this huge DVD collection, and I was looking at it last night, and I'm looking at all this, and I'm like, I got to get these together and start selling them.
Yeah.
I'm never going to watch most of these movies again.
No,
it's
right.
just not going to happen. So, but I have gone back and watched John Cena, Brock Lesnar, and Seth Rollins. I went back and watched that triple threat match.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was great. Man.
There's nothing. I mean,
I think I went back and watched Rousey and Kurt Angle against Stephanie and Triple H because I was just amazed at how good it was.
Mm-hmm.
So I went back and watched it again. But yeah, I can't think of anything else that in the past couple of years anyway that I've gone back and watched. But I still go back and like a few weeks ago, watched Steve Austin and Bret Hart from WrestleMania 13.
Yeah.
I went back and watched Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker from WrestleMania 25.
Mm-hmm.
And now when I was growing up, I had they used to do this thing called WCW All Nighter on TBS.
Yeah.
That would start at like midnight and run till like 6 a.m. And they would just show all these old matches from Clash of the Champions and stuff like that. It would be hosted by it would always be like Mean Gene and Bobby Heenan and Chris Cruz and and Eric Bischoff and Tony Schiavone, and they would be at somebody's somebody's house. And they would have pajamas on, and they would have soda bottles, and popcorn. They would shoot this thing like they were staying up all night watching all these old wrestling matches. And then, especially things like Clash of Champions were not available for rewatch, but they would show like Sting and Flair from the first one. And I remember they did 2 or 3 of them, and I recorded all of them, and I had those videos, and I would go back and rewatch that stuff a lot, a lot.
Yeah,
I mean, I watched anytime I didn't have anything to do.
Right.
But like Jerry's video, I would always be in there renting a wrestling tape, so it would be like, I mean, I don't know how many times I would watch like WrestleMania 5, 6, 7.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and now we would be like, boy, that was not.
Right.
So I think you just said, there was a phrase you just said, when you didn't have anything else to do. And we've reached that point in life. There's always.
Right, I do have other things to do.
There is always something else to do. So I think part of that, Alan, is growing up and just getting older.
Yeah.
I think we our emotions change and things we like change.
Can I quote you on that? Things change as we get older.
Copyright.
Yeah. It's not as easy to pee as it used to be.
Speak for yourself. So our advice, as always, is life is too short to watch bad wrestling.
And if AEW sucks, I won't watch it.
Right. I have decided. I was going to cancel my Dish Network. I'm going to keep it now just to watch.
Well,
wrestling.
I signed up for PlayStation View.
Yeah?
Because I've been trying out all the streaming services,
Yes.
you know what I mean?
That's a whole nother episode we could do.
Well, not really. It's got the MLB Network.
It would be a short episode.
It would be a short episode because I watch, I got the MLB Network, and I got...
So it's a la carte?
No. It's like whatever it is.
Oh.
I mean, it's just I'm saying MLB Network was part of the package.
Oh, gotcha.
So I got that, ESPN. I got the Sports South that shows the Braves games.
Yeah.
And like Turner Classic Movies,
right,
which I like. And, I was pretty much... I don't watch a lot of TV anyway.
No,
but that's like generally during baseball season. I like that. And I'm not like a fanatic. I like baseball,
Most people our age, when they sit down to watch TV, they know what they're going to watch.
Yes.
You don't sit down like, well, no one says, I don't think, let's see what's on TV.
Let's see what's on now. Yeah, because everything's on demand.
You're going to go, everything's on demand.
You know that you got HBO, and you want to watch Game of Thrones, and it's available. So you sit down, you watch Game of Thrones.
And then the next thing you know, it's 2 days later, and you've watched 20 episodes.
Right.
Hey, so we want to thank all of our patrons. Now, the other...
Usually when I usually ask, we'll get like 15 questions.
Michael Tribble... His question was, he wants more What If episodes. Mm-hmm. Those are some of our most fun.
Those are fun. So what? So Michael just let us know what kind of What If episodes.
He likes it when we speculate on stuff.
Right. But I mean, what do you want to hear it on?
I don't know.
Let's find out what you want us to do them on.
I'm going to reply right now. Any suggestions? See, listen. It's communicate, and I've been posting a lot of. If you go to our Patreon.com/DoubleDropKick, it is pretty well updated. And there's multiple things up a week. I have, if you're a higher tier patron, you're going to get old magazines. You're going to get matches every month that you won't see anywhere else. So this episode dedicated to all of our patrons, and we just want to appreciate, just want to thank all of you for your support. If you're not a patron, listen, you can but you can, if you want to feel good about yourself,
you better go back and listen to that.
Did you?
Yes. So you better go back and listen to that.
That's what killed Dennis Day. Contempt for the audience. Anyway, we got a lot more. It's a recording day, so we got a lot more we got to get to. But hey, great questions and a great conversation. This is, and hopefully it's a great weekend for AEW, and hopefully next week is a great week for Mark Whitman, and every week. So. Make sure, wherever you live, if you've never listened to our podcast before, we're wherever you can find a podcast. We're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Stitcher, we're on Spotify, we're on YouTube now. You can listen to these episodes, like I said, through our Patreon page, patreon.com/DoubleDropKick. Hey, we're also on Twitter. I'm at Heath Mulligan.
I'm at the DDK Show.
We have a Facebook page. We have a Facebook group. The Wrestling You Grew Up With. You can come be a part of that. And lots going on, man. Exciting things. It's a great time to be a wrestling fan again.
I mean, it always was. If you just make what you know what I mean.
That's right.
It's
great to be alive.
It's great to be alive. I don't be a wrestling fan or a Batman fan, a Game of Thrones fan, whatever you are. Just be it.
Yeah, just
care.
Enjoy your life.
Golly, man, quit griping.
Yeah,
about every little thing.
We live in the greatest time in human history.
Hey, I don't know about that.
That's an episode. We'll debate it.
I really don't, man. I don't know.
I think, that's a whole nother debate. Anyway, it's a great time to bring this show to a close. So, as always, for the Double Dropkick Show, I'm Heath Mulligan.
And I'm Mark Whitman.
And that's it this week, fans. So long for now.